Welcome to the KS3 Home Learning Pack. The Learning Pack is all about robots. The Home Learning Pack covers the 9 subject areas of English, Maths, Personal Social Health Education, PSHE, Independence, Understanding the World, Science, Creative Arts, Technology and Physical Development. Each lesson has a very similar format. There will be a lesson number at the top. This is closely followed by the equipment. This includes the things that you will need to complete the lesson, such as worksheets, pens, pencils, scissors, glue, ruler. There'll be a set of instructions related to the lesson. This will give you the outcomes and what the lesson is about. There will also be, within each of the packs and each of the lessons, examples to support your child in terms of their learning. Then each lesson will be broken down into activities. Activity 1, 2 and Activity 3. Activity 1 often is the easiest activities and every child should be able to complete these. Activity 2 is about the application of skills and knowledge and your child may need some support with this. Activity 3 is more independent work where children are applying their knowledge and skills to different environments and contexts. In the English lessons, we would like you to read part of the book about the Iron Man. We'd then like to use the information from your reading to inform your work. This will include developing your understanding of the use of verbs and adjectives and work more on your punctuation and persuasive writing. Let's have a look at the lessons in more detail. In the first lesson, we would like you to read a quick summary of the story of the Iron Man. We would then like you to think about how some of the characters and the Iron Man was feeling, such as how the farmers were feeling angry when the Iron Man was eating all of their farm machinery. Lesson 2 and Lesson 3 are very similar in terms of format. The first lesson is looking at adjectives. In this case, his iron ears turned this way, that way. The words iron and turned are adjectives. In the third lesson, we're looking at verbs, and a verb is used to describe an action, state, or an occurrence. In this example, he swayed in the strong wind that pressed against his back. The lessons will look at developing your understanding of adjectives and verbs, then identifying adjectives and verbs in the text of the Iron Man, and finally using adjectives and verbs in your own writing. In lesson 4, we'll be looking at punctuation and capital letters and full stops in sentences. You'll start the work by developing your understanding of capital letters and full stop, then thinking about the text in the Iron Man. In this example, he was hearing the C. You would need to then put capital H at the beginning of the sentence and finish the sentence with a full stop at the end. There's more text examples for you to try, and then you will develop your own punctuation in your own writing. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at using dictionary and putting letters and words in order using the alphabet. In this example, the words banana, apple and carrot could be arranged as apple, banana and carrot. There's lots more examples to try in the resources. In the next 2 lessons, we'll be focusing on similes and persuasive writing. Similes is a comparison between 2 things, using as or like. In the example above, the girl has blue eyes, blonde hair and a bright smile, and the sun is round, yellow and bright. So therefore her smile is as bright as the sun, or her smile is bright like the sun. You could use either of these 2 in your writing. There'll be an opportunity to identify similes, develop your similes and use your similes in your writing. In persuasive writing, there's a number of ways we can persuade the reader in terms of various emotions or feelings and developing a richer text. This could be alliteration, facts, opinions, repetition, emotive language, statistics, or the rule of 3. In the lesson, we'll be looking at using repetition and also emotive language as the 2 main aspects to develop your writing. In the final lesson, there's an opportunity for you to develop your own story. building on the Iron Man. You'll be able to develop your own characters, your own settings, your own storyline, and ensuring that you have a good conclusion and end to your story. In the maths lessons, we would like you to continue to work on counting and data handling, then also develop your skills and knowledge in terms of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and finally develop your aspects around directions and also measuring. In the first lesson, we'll be doing number bonds. The total is within the robot's belly. We have 5 to start with, and we need to decide what to add to 5 to get to 10. So the answer here is 5. You may find that using counters or number lines help you in terms of answering the questions. The number bonds are in 10s, 20s and also 100s. In the second lesson, we'll be looking at using directions. To help you, don't forget that if you put your left hand up, it will make the letter L, which means that we've got the left hand. So in this example, to go from the bookshop to the bakery, we first of all need to go right, then left, then right, and then left. You can draw the directions onto the map and then see if you can describe those directions using left and right. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at counting and tally charts. In the example here, we might want to start by counting springs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We will then work out the frequency number, develop some graphs, and use the information to answer some questions to help the robot in the future. In the next lesson, we'll be doing some simple measuring. To start with, we'll be using non-standard units. The example here of a non-standard unit will be using paper clips to measure the length of a pencil. In this example, we have the pencil being 3 paper clips long. We're progressing on to using centimeters and meters as we then start to measure your rooms around your house and working out the areas. In lesson 5, we'll be looking at dividing by sharing. In this example, we are sharing 3 chocolate bars by 3 people. Therefore, every person just gets 1 chocolate bar. We can then look at how that looks in terms of the calculation. So we have 3 divided by 3 equals 1. As we get better at our division, so the work within the worksheets will get harder. It may be that towards the end you may need some support from an adult. In the 6th lesson, we'll be actually getting you to design your own robot using shapes. And then also considering the shapes themselves and trying to describe them. In this case, a triangle has 3 sides and it also has 3 corners. We'll be able to look at more shapes and see how many you can use in your design. In lesson 7, we'll be looking at coordinates. In this example, if we were thinking of the coordinate for the bolt, we look across the bottom axis. So the bolt is in column C, and through the y-axis, the bolt is at point 3. So in this example, the bolt is at C3. In the final lesson, we'll be looking at multiplication and using multiplication wheels. To develop our 2 times table, we will look at 2 times 2, which equals 4, 2 times 3, which equals 6, 2 times 10, which equals 20, 2 times 8, which equals 16, 2 times 6, which equals 12, 2 times 7, which equals 14, 2 times 4, which equals 8, and 2 times 5, which equals 10. There's lots more multiplication wheels for you to try. Welcome to the wider learning pack. In creative arts, we would first of all like you to go around your house collecting recycling items. Then, thinking about the items that you have, design your robot, build it, and then maybe think about the modifications that you've had to do as your design has developed. In the second lesson of creative arts, we will look at tessellation. This is where objects fit together without any gaps in between them. There's some examples for you to colour in and then for you to develop your own tessellations. In personal, social, health education lessons, we'd first of all like you to go around the house and identify those appliances and devices that have a wire or plug and therefore use mains electricity. And then which appliances and devices may have a battery to operate them. And of course there will be some examples of devices such as iPads that have both a wire and a plug and also a battery. We'd like you to consider categorizing these and seeing how many you have. The second part of the lesson will look at the dangers in relation to electricity around the house and how to stay safe. In science, we'll be considering wavelength and also doing some experiments with light and refraction, which is where wavelengths change as they progress through different materials. In the second lesson, we'll be considering about light and dark and also having a little bit of fun with shadow puppets. In understanding the world, we will start by developing our understanding of the types of energies. Secondly, how we've developed energy to support ourselves in terms of living and manufacturing, and how that energy is created, whether that be through burning coal and gas or through aspects such as wind power and solar energy, and how this is affecting the climate in terms of global warming. In the independence lessons, we're going to be starting with road safety. This will start with basic road safety in how we cross the road safely, but then also considering about where we cross the roads. In the example here, this is a safe place to cross the road as we are using a crossing and we are waiting for the green man to cross. But we'll also be providing examples of maybe poor road safety and seeing if you can tell the difference between them. And then we'll be considering the ABC of road safety. That is the awareness, your behaviour and the choices that you make to ensure that you are safe while crossing the road. In the second two lessons of independence, we'll be considering first of all identity and your identity and the identity of others and what makes all of us unique. And then secondly, considering diversity and diversity within Leicester and how we should celebrate the diversity that we have within our communities. In the physical development lessons, we're going to consider about how robots move. In this example, how a robot may step up onto a platform and back down again. We're then going to go on to orienteering and how we can follow instructions to be able to find objects, markers, either in the garden or in a wider park. And then finally, we have the Peter Crouch challenge and seeing if you can develop your own robot dance. In the technology lessons, we're going to start first of all by looking at input and output devices that you might have at home or can recognize, and which may actually be both input and output. Then looking at the range of applications that you might use on mobile phones, and finally the history of mobile phones and also the buttons that you use in terms of being able to control your mobile phone just like a robot. Thank you for listening today. Please don't forget to take pictures of your work and to send them into school. Just a reminder, each of the lessons have 3 activities within them. Those activities do get harder. If you do get stuck, please don't just give up, keep trying. And if you need some more support, remember to ask an adult or another member of your family to help. Thank you.